All right, so let's get to some of our other headlines here. UAW President Shawn Fain and union members appear to be marching toward a potential strike with Detroit's Big Three. Now, this morning, Ford made a counteroffer to sweeten the pot for workers, but details have not been released. Meanwhile, Fain called GM's offer an insult. And so the tough talk as the deadline continues, as the deadline to reach a labor deal is now less than a week away. Fox News' Dave Kinchin has the very latest.
Another potential deal rejected. The UAW calling GM's latest offer to the labor union an insulting proposal 1 week before current contracts with the Big Three expire. A strike now inching closer to reality. GM's offer would have given all workers a $5,500 ratification bonus. Juneteenth would have been a paid holiday, and most GM workers would have gotten a 10% wage increase had the deal been approved.
So a UAW strike against the domestic auto manufacturers will have far and away a disproportionately negative impact on Michigan. And that's because Michigan has more automotive production than any other state in the union.
Sandy Barua is the president and CEO of the Detroit Regional Chamber. He says the region is moving closer to some form of economic peril if a strike happens.
You know, Anderson Economics Group just the other day said that a 10-day strike against the Big Three, about $5 billion of economic impact.
We are the union!
We are the union!
Workers who support all Big Three firms have been looking for a 46% pay raise, a 32-hour work week with 40 hours of pay, and restoration of the traditional pensions for new hires.
It's been very stressful.
Kiana Ackles feels the pain her fellow auto workers at GM are going through. She's stationed at the Stellantis plant in Sterling Heights.
Just giving us fair wages and, the pensions as well. I don't have a pension. I came in as a 2-tier, so I'm not offered a pension. They started it, but they didn't close it.
Are you prepared to strike if it comes to that?
I'm going to follow my brothers and sisters. We don't want it to come to that, but, if they can't come to a resolution, then that's probably where it will end up.
Come the new year, we're probably going to be down to one shift. So this is a fight for the downriver community.
Just last year, we were 1,650-ish around people. This year, we dropped down to 679. We're going to lose another 350 because they're going down to one shift.
Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
Wow, lots on the line there. A suspect under arrest in the case of some torched state police cruisers up in the UP. We've been talking about this for the past couple days. Well, now a 39-year-old Florida man is in custody, accused of setting fire to and shooting up several patrol cars at the substation in Sault Ste. Marie. Troopers caught up with him yesterday at a nearby home. They exchanged gunfire with the suspect, whose condition is not being released at this time. No troopers were hurt. No word on a motive for this bizarre attack.
The Oakland County Sheriff's Office needs help looking for a suspected thief in Addison Township. Now look at your man on the screen. That is Jeffrey Constable, and he is accused of stealing packages and breaking into a home on Drainer near Addison Oaks Park. Police say that he stole a pickup truck too. If you know where he is, call the Oakland County Sheriff's Office.
And a Livonia police officer is in critical condition following a motorcycle crash. Police say the officer was off duty when he was hit by a pickup yesterday morning on Middle Belt near 6 Mile. The 10-year veteran underwent surgery yesterday afternoon. An attorney we spoke with says this is a tough reminder to always look twice.
It's just tragic. The most important thing is you have to be aware of your surroundings. It's not just enough for you to look in a mirror. It's not just enough for you to rely upon a sensor. You actually have to look over your shoulder.
Good reminder, sources tell Fox 2, this crash does not appear to be the officer's fault. The investigation is ongoing.
Charges have finally come down nearly a month after a Michigan State student is shot and killed in Howell. We do not know why the shooting happened, but here's what we can share. 22-year-old Reese Hammy is charged with open murder for the death of Wade Okabare. Hammy is also facing additional counts of witness tampering.
And new at 11, a former Trump White House official is convicted of contempt of Congress. Peter Navarro served as Trump's trade advisor. He was charged with refusing to cooperate with a congressional investigation into the January 6th riot at the Capitol. Prosecutors argue Navarro acted, quote, above the law when he defied a subpoena for documents and a deposition from the House January 6th committee. Navarro pleading his case following his conviction.
What's so remarkable about this case is that even as the Department of Justice was bringing this case, they had a policy for more than 50 years that says people like me, senior White House advisors, alter egos of the president, cannot be compelled to testify before Congress. Absolute. Yet they brought the case.
Just trying to make sure.
As I said,
Well, Navarro is the second Trump aide to face contempt of Congress charges. Former White House advisor Steve Bannon was convicted of 2 charges and sentenced to 4 months in prison. Navarro's sentencing will take place on January 12th.
President Joe Biden is still having problems in his own party over the border crisis. New York's mayor is blasting the president, saying that the White House hasn't helped the thousands of asylum seekers arriving each month. But not everyone agrees. Fox's Brian Yennis has the latest.
Don't believe the hype when you hear the messages as though there's somehow chaos and anarchy.
Tonight, the chancellor of New York City schools insists the migrant crisis is under control as teachers welcome 21,000 non-English speaking migrant children on the first day of school. But just last night, his boss, Mayor Eric Adams, painted a much more dire picture of the migrant crisis.
Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City.
Mayor Adams says this is a national crisis, attacking the Biden administration for not providing the city any support. Yet Adams says the ultimate blame lies with Republicans, former President Trump and Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
Started with a madman down in Texas.
More than 110,000 illegal immigrants have arrived in New York City since April of last year. But according to Governor Abbott, about 13,000, or just 12%, were bussed into the city by his administration. Republicans blame President Biden.
We've had 7 million illegal immigrants under Joe Biden. And so seeing Eric Adams complain about 100,000 is cute.
Meantime, Chicago is also struggling to house thousands of migrants. Some 1,500 are temporarily sheltered at city police stations where 4 migrants were arrested for threatening and assaulting police officers.
I cannot guarantee that everybody that comes into any of our shelters has had a background check that we can look at reliably.
In New York City, Brian Yennis, Fox News.
All right, let's go check out that forecast live outside where it is cloudy once again, just like yesterday where we had one of those kind of overcast days. Some breaks in the clouds expected today, so maybe a little bit of blue sky, a little bit of sunshine, but overall, still a cloudy day and still a cooler day today as we struggle to get out of the 60s. In fact, I don't think we will get out of the 60s. We're at 64 degrees right now, and you'll see that there's not a whole lot of rain out there, but Futurecast putting those clouds in southern Michigan. Now, northern Michigan, once you get north of Saginaw, you're actually kind of cloud-free. That's the way the clouds are going to clear today from north to south, but we will be stuck with them, I think, for most of the day. Here's your numbers when it comes to the heat and the humidity, which, by the way, have you noticed a big change in the humidity? That north wind has really pushed a lot of that out of here. So a cooler, drier day today with those clouds lingering. Saturday, Sunday look really nice, low, mid-70s. No rain in the forecast for the weekend. It does come back next week, as does the cooler air. We'll have a look at that extended forecast in a little bit. Brandon, over to you.
In a bit. So DTE, they want to ensure the safety of your gas meter, and this is something that utility workers do every 3 years. DTE workers are placing flyers on doors. They're urging people to get an inspection. They want it done by the end of the year. So far, 18,000 customers have not responded, and if they do not do it, the Michigan Public Service Commission will force DTE to cut their service. Restoring it could cost up to $6,000.
We absolutely do not want to cut off anyone. We just want you to participate with us, to do this 15-minute check once every 3 years until we ultimately move the inside meter to outside. Ultimately, what we have to do is to shut the service down if we can't validate the safety of the equipment.
And they can lead to natural gas leaks and possibly home explosions. Now, the company is in the process of moving those indoor gas meters outside where they are safer. If a DTE worker comes to your door, make sure they have a badge, company clothing, and a flyer. Macomb County is working to figure out what is causing an abundance of muck on Lake St. Clair. Samples were taken yesterday of algae near Harrison Township. It is part of a 2-year study to learn how this stuff grows before it collects on the shoreline and whether it poses any health risks. Before rebuilding can really begin in Maui, the Environmental Protection Agency is working to rid communities of potentially toxic materials that are left behind from that deadly wildfire. Fox's Marianne Rafferty takes a look at the latest cleanup efforts.
The long and difficult cleanup process continues on Maui, with crews from the Environmental Protection Agency working to clear hazardous debris across the devastated town of Lahaina.
There's a lot of concern about exposures to residents.
When last month's deadly inferno burned through more than 2,000 structures, it also left behind charred batteries from electric vehicles, propane tanks, and other materials that could be toxic.
Those batteries are prone to fire and explosion, so we're treating them very carefully.
Because of the extreme amount of destruction, the process is going to take some time. The EPA's incident commander says more than 300 properties have been rid of those materials so far.
It comes in from the field and it gets repackaged into these 55-gallon drums that don't look like very much, and then will be placed into shipping containers.
But as Maui residents look to rebuild after their loss, several communities in Athens, Greece that have also suffered from wildfires are now defending their homes with special heat-sensing drones. The group of more than 300 people have personally hired a company to fly the drones around their neighborhoods 24/7. Drone pilots work in 6-hour shifts, looking for any signs of temperature spikes in the environment as an early detection strategy. Back on Maui, Hawaii tourism officials are now asking for visitors to return to the island to help stimulate the economy. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.